If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button below and don't forget to like the video. It helps the channel to grow. More importantly, please enjoy. Thank you. Hello guys, welcome to Irish Footy Vlogs, and today we're going to discuss how Stephen O'Donnell may or may not succeed as manager of St. Patrick's Athletic. So let's get into the video. Stephen O'Donnell was appointed manager of St. Patrick's Athletic with 7 games to go last season. He took over from Harry Kenny, who essentially was sacked from the job. He's only 33 years of age. It's his first job as a manager as well. So obviously St. Patrick's Athletic have taken a chance here in a new, fresh manager. Kenny he had a bit of experience managing Bray Wanderers, and he also was assistant to Liam Buckley back in the day with Pats as well. As a player, Stephen O'Donnell, he played for Bows, he played for Cork City, and he played for Shamrock Rovers. But obviously his time as Dundalk was a special time for him, and people remember that more between 2013 and 2018, where he won 4 league titles, 2 FAI Cups, and 2 UEA Sports Cups. He did win a league title with Rovers, and he won a league title with Bohemians and an FAI Cup, so that tells you the influence that central midfielder had in the League of Ireland. You know, he's a central midfielder known for his leadership abilities, fighting spirit, good influential player, but a good footballer to boot, clearly. You don't win titles as such the way he did without being a good footballer. Suffered a few injuries as well. He's tried to bring some of those traits, I think, early on into his managerial career. I think it's difficult to judge at this moment how he'll get on. There are murmurs from some St. Patrick's Athletic fans. They don't like what he's done so far. But to be fair, he's only had 7 games last season where he did change things up tactically. He occasionally played 4-3-3 and 3 at the back with 2 wing backs. He also had Forrester close to whoever played up front. So he's changed it about a bit in the 7 games to have a look and see where he's at. But the one thing that comes from me really strongly from Stephen O'Donnell, listening to Stephen in his interviews, etc., is that he wants players that show a bit of fighting spirit, that play for the shirt. And, you know, he clearly wants a few leaders to develop within a group. And that's shining through very much so. He would have high demands as a captain and as a player, and it's clear he wants those as a manager as well. He's ripped up the St. Patrick's Athletic squad, there's no doubt about that, and that's, you know, how can they gel very quickly into the season? It's very difficult to tell, because once again, probably for the 2nd season in a row, St. Patrick's Athletic probably have the biggest turnover of players, ins and outs. I know some fans aren't happy with some of the players that were let go, but clearly Pats had problems last season, there's no doubt about that, and they do need the right characters. Personally, I would trust Stephen O'Donnell to choose the right characters. He's looking for young, hungry players in general to come into the squad as well. He's brought the likes of Kevin Feely from Waterford back to the club. You know, the likes of Benson, who's very experienced, has come in. Robbie Benson from Dundalk. He played with Robbie Benson as well. And Robbie's a very, very good player. I say he's experienced, but he's only 27 years of age. So you need someone with a bit of winning mentality there as well. And he obviously sees that from the midfield position that Stephen would have played in himself. So clearly that's something that you know, he wants in that centre of midfield. And Pats would have been lacking that, in all honesty, last season, probably the last couple of seasons. Interestingly, in the last week or so, he's brought in a couple of players from England and Scotland. Danny Ward, I believe, is 22, 23, and Billy King, who's 25, have come to the club. I think Ward is a bit of an attacking midfielder. King is more a winger. So let's be honest, we don't know anything about those players, how they might fare in the league, what their motives are, but I'm sure Stephen O'Donnell wouldn't bring them in unless he had good chats with them. And, you know, he's the type of manager that I feel can, you know, suss out a character. Pats fans will be disappointed that maybe the likes of Kevin Toner is the rugby player, Irish international. No, some of them are disappointed Kevin Toner's left the club. I have to admit myself, Kevin Toner's a very good defender, but we don't know what went on in the background. There was murmurs of discontent and stuff like that. And if that's the case, then, rightfully, no matter how good a player is, they should leave any club. Mikey Drennan left by mutual consent, but he probably had to go, to be fair. And Rhys McCabe, another one who just didn't settle in. So those players have gone. And as I said, they've brought in a fresh batch of young, hungry players as well. So, Stephen obviously isn't afraid to wield the axe, and he's going to try and put his own stamp on the team. And I think he will get a team. He will be able to motivate players and give them an opportunity to shine within this group next season. The key for Stephen himself, coming back to the heading of the video, will be success at Pats. Might well depend on his tactical prowess. It's very difficult to tell in 7 matches how good he is tactically. As I said, first job, he's only 33 years of age. Time will tell there, but it's not, nobody can, I don't think he can make an educated decision on whether he's good tactically or not yet. So time will tell on that score. In other aspects, I would trust him, as I've mentioned before. But it's going to be a season where Pats are definitely going to look to finish in the top 3 or 4. There's no doubt about that. And I suppose if they did finish 5th or lower, it would be deemed a failure. He's talked about how he likes to play expressive football as well. A lot of Pats fans as well would tell you that, particularly under Kenny, that their play was slow and ponderous. Under O'Donnell, we saw a little bit of that at times, but then again, up in Derry as an example, we might have saw a glimpse of how O'Donnell wants to play. A team that comes together under a manager, it's very difficult to suddenly just change a routine of style of play. So over the pre-season, they'll be looking to hone in on that and obviously score more goals, because that was a serious issue for Pats last season. I think they just about scored 30 goals last season in the league. They failed to score more than once at home all season, which is just, it's a shocking statistic. But with a fresh group of players, I suppose that mightn't be, it's something that wouldn't play in their minds so much. Getting the best out of Chris Forrester is another thing as well that O'Donnell will look to do, and there was glimpses of that near the end of last season as well. So, Stephen, it's a good job for him as well. First job, to get a job like St. Patrick's Athletic, it's a great job for him too. Will he be a success at Pats? It'll depend. I think this season will obviously tell a lot on whether he's good, how good he is tactically, and how well Pats do this season will really tell if he's going to be successful or not, because Pats probably need a manager to stay for a couple of seasons as well, after a few changes there recently. So if I was to give an opinion on it, as I said, nobody can really tell. I get the feeling will be a success. I just have a feeling that the young group of players Pats have put together, they're not in Europe, which might give them a little bit of a leg up this season. They're definitely going to sign a few more players. I know they're going to be getting a striker as well, just not sure who yet. But I think he's shown a few bits of things that he's willing to mix things up tactically, certainly in the first 7 games that he had in charge. And I know he's obviously going to have a style of play that he's going to want to impose on the team and the players going into pre-season, and generally a set way, but I'd say he's not afraid to mix it up either if needed. And he's probably bringing in some players. I've noticed a few players brought in are versatile. Feely's generally a right back but can play centre back. Shane Griffin, probably a backup to Birmingham, but he can play centre back as well, probably more in a back 3. So there's versatility there. The likes of Ward, I think, certainly Forrester, and Dean Clark, for example, Hale as well, who's already at the club as well. There's versatility there, so there's options for him to be able to change it up tactically, formation-wise, if he needs to. So, League of Ireland fans, do you think Stephen O'Donnell will be a success at Pats? What do Dundalk fans actually think? of him taking over St.Pats? Do you think he'll do a good job? And Pats fans themselves, how do you feel going into the new season? How do you feel about Stephen O'Donnell himself? So I'm going to leave it there, guys. This is a video I planned to do a few weeks ago, actually, and only got around to doing it now because of the few bits and pieces that I was doing, other videos I was doing and that. I'll be vlogging from United Park on Friday night, Drogheda to take on Derry in a friendly. So looking forward to that second friendly of the season I'll be at. So I'll leave it there and take it easy, guys. Good luck.